Good morning. Coffee in hand. Cappuccino. 10 to 1 in the morning. It is a good morning. It's the morning when I head off down to Manila finally to see the sights and sounds and hopefully to do some interesting videos and maybe some thoughts, maybe thoughts for the day. I did a video earlier on the other channel, British Expat in the Philippines. A little bit heavy, but nevertheless, my thought for the day. And one of the things that has prompted some of the videos in the past few days is the fact that I'm away from what is normal, away from the reality of everyday life in the Philippines province. And I'm surrounded by some good people here who I'm staying with. And some of them have got video channels and some haven't. But they're English guys with their partners. And it's always very encouraging to discover that as we're all foreigners, we're all in the same boat. And of course, we all experience we're always wrong. But to discover the generosity of those around us, that sometimes we tend to sort of say, well, I wouldn't mix with foreigners. I've come here to be in the Philippines and therefore I don't need them. But when you're going through a rough patch, or maybe the end of a rough patch, it's always vitalizing to experience the friendship for once. I got to meet Ian yesterday, and great day. Ian, living in the Philippines, that's the name of his channel. And I encourage you to go and watch some of his videos. He's a very nice guy, down to earth, ex-military man, British military in Germany, speaks fluent German, and he's got a great English sense of humour. So I encourage you. The name of the channel is Ian, living in the Philippines. So back to what I'm meaning is that it is important that we have something or someone that we can call upon in times of need. Some of those that are those people that we do call on have followed the journey that we may also be in. We've shared moments of upset, moments of concern within maybe our relationships. And by talking it out with someone who is of the same breed, so to speak, it helps us to step back for a moment and ask questions. Ask questions not necessarily in a derogatory way, but just to ask questions of, are we doing the right thing? Should we not be doing this? Doesn't mean we have to follow those well-meaning answers that they give us, but they give us a chance to reflect on some of the thoughts that we have. Just like my thoughts for the day may trigger thoughts in your mind about not the subject maybe I'm talking about, but maybe something on the peripheral of that, on the edge of what one's talking about. And it's been, at the moment, I don't even know how long I've been here. It seems like a fog. It's a fog, a nice fog, but I suppose really I've been in such a mess myself that I've not been able to step out of the quagmire that I've found myself in. And whilst I give people, not necessarily, some people suggest that I'm not following my own advice. Well, I don't give advice. What I do is I give you my opinion. And in many cases, that opinion has got me into trouble with those around me. But then my answer is that they don't have to watch. They can delete what they don't want to watch, and they can voice their opinion to me. And whether I listen or not is up to me. But hopefully I do. And I have taken on board many things that have been raised by those around me. But we can't please everybody all the time. And we cannot prepare anybody left behind for what lies in front of them either. We can maybe, in some cases, if we die, we can leave a legacy that will assist them. But for many of you who, I'll say, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, for many of us who rescue a Filipina from a lifestyle that maybe not quite how they wanted it, it can be extremely challenging for them when we die. So it's important that we put in place the mechanisms to move on without us. I mean, I've spoken to people who are widows now, and it's interesting to see where they're at in their lives. It's interesting to see that they were well provided for, or maybe they have family overseas that help them get through the trauma of losing their partner, but also enabling them to get back on the treadmill and don't vegetate. They've been able to put their lives together. And some extremely well, and some just in a more modest way. But we also have to remember, how did your Filipina survive before you came along? She had a job, yep. She had family around her, yep. And she had nice surroundings, yep. So one would think it would be pretty straightforward for them when they've decided that they no longer want this pangit foreigner, or the argumentative foreigner, or the nasty foreigner, or a drunken foreigner, sharing their lives with them anymore. Now that can be a bit of a shock for many of us guys who think the world gravitates around us. Our ego doesn't allow us to step back and realize that we're just a mere mortal. And we need to be reminded now and again that we're not necessarily going to spend the rest of our time with the one that we thought we had chosen. And by saying that, it can become a bit of a shock when you're told by that so-called love of your life that it's all over, they've found someone else. What you find then is them turning it around. What I think they call it gaslighting. They turn it around and make out that it's your fault. You've caused this situation. I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't for you. Well, that just means they're not taking ownership of the fact that they've changed their mind. They've decided to break the tie, let the rope go, and let her new ship sail into the blue yonder. But she also has to remember, if she has a new person in her life, that person then should then step into that place that you once filled. And that might also mean financially. And it should do, naturally, that it's a shared journey. But so often, those that encourage somebody to move away from what was maybe a good deal, they're not necessarily going to step up to the plate and make sure that she's being well cared for now that she's cast you aside. So don't let those things play in your mind. They will. They'll be, come on home, all will be forgiven, we'll start again, all those words. But those that remember, when those things happened to you in the past, did it work out? For some, maybe it did. Maybe there was a a deep and cherishing love that made us all both sit back and say, yes, I'll give that person a second chance, third chance, fourth chance. But 99% of the time, it won't. It'll only be short-lived, and it won't take long before the old worries click back in again. So, guys, take care. Think wisely. Don't rush. Just simply go with the flow. And come and join me in Manila today. Maybe tomorrow as well, but certainly today. And let's hope that what I'm able to film there before my battery runs out, might have to go and get it charged during the day. But I hope that you enjoy the videos that I have been planning for months now. I never ever thought that I'd always planned on staying in a hotel somewhere, but the kind generosity of those around me have enabled me to not have that pressure on me whilst finally getting to see Manila on a shoestring budget. So if you like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. I'll finish my coffee. 1 o'clock in the morning, I think I'll go back and have another nod. And I'll be up and bright and breezy, hopefully around 4:35 for another day in Manila. So bye now.